Fasten your Liberty Tool hard hat thinking helmets and enter at your own risk, because we are uninsured, but also because Science Kristin is here to rain knowledge down upon you. She's bringing yet more heat into ADHD Learning Corner as she dives into the pre-frontal cortex and how our fickle attention leads to the if you give a moose a muffin effect, a newly coined concept we know many ADHDers will relate to when it comes to cleaning the house. Then we are two productive Marys as we share our supernormal quirks, almost make a new hobby collector song, dish out ill-advised interview tips, and somehow still find the time to pitch a few sitcom concepts and lay the groundwork for a steamy romance novel, rife with forbidden love and complicated coitus. Choo-choo!
They said that we'd grow out of it. Well, the joke's on them, that's just our brains. We're eccentric, loud, and stubborn, and most of our clothing is covered in stains. It's not a deficit of attention, there's just too much to think about. So if executive dysfunction becomes a little too much, if you forgot why you came in this room, or you're hypersensitive to touch, then put on your seamless socks and come join our little flock. Bitches stimming together, we're weirds of a feather, weirds of a feather.
Should we start this? Oh, you're starting it.
Oh, yeah, I'm starting it. Grace, it's been like less than 12 hours since I've seen you last.
I know. And now you're seeing me again?
I can't get enough.
Just can't get enough.
I don't think that's a real song.
Yes, it is.
Is it?
I feel like it's just like
Just can't
general
get enough.
songs.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That generic lyric and tune.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we were at camp.
we were at camp. Oh, should we say what's going on first? Should we introduce the podcast?
We could.
But will we?
But will we?
Who knows?
Ah!
Coming up next, find out if we introduce the podcast or not.
Stay tuned.
Don't leave us. Don't go anywhere.
Hey.
Welcome to Weirds of a Feather, an ADHD-Adjacent podcast. I'm your host, Grace.
And I'm your host, Kristin. And here we are. Grace, it's
We're
been
here.
less than 12 hours since I've seen
Oh,
you.
Yeah, I mean, we could just continue the conversation we were having
could.
before.
Oh, okay.
I'll
We
probably
don't have
just
to
leave
start
that in
over.
there.
Okay. Yeah.
I just didn't know if we wanted to get that bullshit out of the way.
You know, it's always good to introduce yourself. I guess that's good.
Sometimes it's good to tell
Etiquette.
people where they are and who we are and what's going on.
Yeah. Sure.
All right. Yeah. Camp.
Yeah.
12 hours
Camp.
ago. Here we are.
Camp
Now
for
we're
the
here.
non-Mainers, camp is just a lake house.
Like
But we call it's not actual, like we weren't intense.
And it's also not like a summer camp.
Yeah.
I feel like it's the other thing people picture.
Right. Like it's not, it's just a lake house. But if you're from Maine, you call it camp.
And you say, I'm going up to camp.
Up to camp. Going to camp.
Just like a cabin on a lake.
Yep.
Pretty quintessential Maine.
Yeah, it's the main thing. It was beautiful. It was cold, but beautiful.
Yes. Lake was frozen, which we knew, obviously. It's March.
No more turkey holes, though.
Yep, no
Stayed
turkey
away
holes.
from the turkey holes, which is good.
Yep. Not to brag, but we didn't make any food that had to be shoved into the ice in the form of a turkey hole.
Yeah.
So go us, a little accomplishment.
There you go. Ding, ding, ding.
No carcass in the ice.
That's always nice.
Yeah. A little song there?
Yeah.
I feel.
More of a couplet.
Okay. Yeah, we went up to camp just to get away from it all.
You know, it's so stressful.
Yep. We went to this amazing place called Liberty Tool that has been there forever. It's in town. And by in town, I mean, I don't know.
It is the town.
Yeah,
It's just like Liberty Tool Company and
Liberty Graphics.
that's it.
There's a post office and a library. And that's
There's
pretty
a
much it.
library. There's some chickens.
Yeah, there's a
Just
library.
Free roaming chickens
Yep.
in the street, you know?
There's like a new restaurant that's open sometimes. And a
Oh.
weird museum that's also open sometimes.
Hours are vague. That's what it says on the
Does
the
it?
website. No.
It probably does,
It
knowing
should.
Liberty. It's just kind of like a little cute little town on a lake in Maine. And Liberty Tool is a secondhand / antique /
You
Junk
never know what you're going
tool,
to... Yeah.
junk house.
Junk house / antique /
But it's a 3-story building filled to the brim with stuff.
for sure run and organized by someone with ADHD.
Oh,
It is like
100%.
if ADHD was a store, that would be it.
Yes. And to add to that, you have to wear a hard hat if you want to go into the basement.
Which we did not.
Yes. So they give you a helmet that you can wear down the basement.
Why do you have to wear a helmet to go in the basement?
I guess the ceiling could cave in on you at any minute.
Jesus. And a
And-
hard hat's really going to help with that?
Yeah,
At least
might
my
help
head's
you a little bit.
protected. My body is crushed.
And they're not able to get insured, actually, is the other reason why. Because they can't be insured.
Gee.
No one will
well,
insure them.
Do you have to sign a waiver to go in the basement? Also, what's in the basement? Like bodies?
I don't know. I've only been in the basement once. I think there was a mannequin down there, maybe. So that's
Oh.
creepy.
It's a false body.
Practicing. So yeah, we
These are
got
just
some
placeholders for when the real bodies come.
getting ready, saving spots. So we found some gems. We found some treasures there. Also, while we were at camp, we had collectively quite a few ADHD moments, didn't we?
Before the weekend even started, I had
yeah.
multiple. Can I tell you about my morning coffee run?
Please, and then we'll go into the tragic categories game
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
and teriyaki sauce on the dog.
I think what happened is I had such a productive morning that I just burnt out.
This was Thursday. We were going
Thursday morning.
to drive up to camp
Haven't even gone
Thursday
to camp yet.
afternoon.
Just wanted to get to Augusta to meet you guys.
Meet in Augusta. At first we said 12, and
then
then
we
we
said
changed it to
1.
1, and it ended up being like
2:30.
2:15, 2:30. But it worked out.
Hey, it worked out.
We both
Yeah.
got there on time.
There we go.
Yep.
I had such a productive morning. I folded laundry. I vacuumed. I repotted a bonsai that needed help. I'll talk about it later. I took care of the cats. I did all these things before I packed. I did the things. And I was like, wow, look at me. Productive Mary.
Yeah, productive
Being-
Mary.
Yeah. Being
Being a productive Mary.
Yeah, I guess. I was trying to be illiterate, but not illiterate. Oh my God.
Illiterate, as in like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It should have been productive Patty, right?
I like
Productive
Productive
Mary,
Mary.
is what it will be. So I was trying to be a productive Mary, and I was. And I think I just did too much, and I burnt out.
classic productive Mary.
I fizzled real hard. So I go
get
to
that.
Dunks because I'm not allowed back. I don't feel like I'm allowed back at the Aroma Joe's that I went to last time. So I was like,
not yet.
not yet. So Dunks it is. Which is, if you ever want like dirt water in a cup, you can go to Dunkin' Donuts.
This episode is sponsored by Dunkin' Donuts. Come get your favorite dirt water in a cup for a limited time now.
It's March, so you know what that means. It's the Shamrock Dirt Cup.
Oh, yes.
So I go to Dunkin' Donuts to get my dirt mug cup of and it's a longer line, and I'm like, I hate waiting in line. I'm just like, angry in the car. And then I realize as I drive up to the window, so Aroma Joe's, you order at a window and then you pay at the next window and get your coffee at the next window. That's how it is every Aroma Joe's. Dunks, you have to order through the little box, right? Like most drive-thrus, you order through the box.
Yes, like all of them.
Like almost all of them.
Yes.
And I don't know what I was thinking, but I got to the point where I was pulling up to the window and realized I didn't order at the box. I was just pulling up to pull up. And I locked eyes with the lady. And before she could open the window, I just go, oh no, and I drive off. But
Just
then I was like,
waiting in
I still
line.
need coffee. So I drove back around and I waited in line again. And I had to face the same lady who we both pretended that we didn't know each other from before. And it worked out. I did get dirty mud water.
And how was it?
Oh, I couldn't.
As promised?
As promised. Well, here's something I also didn't tell you. It just wasn't my drink. So I dumped it out and then went to a different Dunkin' Donuts on a different street. Oh, because, okay, wait, circle back.
Yep.
So what I didn't tell you is, so after that whole debacle, I am dysregulated, I guess. I am not thinking, probably shouldn't be driving because I'm upset at myself. And I get on the highway to go to Augusta, which is north from where I live, and end up like on autopilot going south towards where Grace lives. And I realized this after I passed the first exit.
Oh, no.
And I would call Grace and I go, hey, I'm going to be late because I'm going southbound instead of northbound.
Yep.
So then I get off, and then lo and behold, there's another Dunks at the exit I got off of. And I was like, great. Let's switch up the coffees. And luckily, there's no line there. So I dump out what I had. I go and I get another coffee, and that coffee is just as garbage as the first coffee.
Almost like there's a trend,
It's
and
like
maybe you shouldn't be going to
garbage water at the Dunkin' Donuts.
You get what you're promised, and that is garbage water.
That's a classic Dunkin' Donuts commercial. America runs on garbage. Get your garbage water here.
Just like the slogan says.
Right.
That's why Ben Affleck loves it.
Yep.
Garbage water for a garbage boy.
No, you know what I think it is? I think they all need to descale their coffee pots. That's what it tastes like. It's like that bitter metal taste. I think Dunkin' Donuts, listen up.
Get a pen.
Get a pen. Go to Amazon and get a big bulk section of Barkeeper's Best Friend descaler for coffee pots. Run that bad boy through. You're gonna have coffee's never gonna be the same again.
Life-changing advice.
Changing. Okay? Anyway.
Where are we in the story?
Eventually, I got to Augusta. I met you, and we went up to camp.
Yeah.
And there we go.
Yeah.
And then I was better. I hope.
Well, you know what? You were running a bit behind, and Ian and I were planning to go to the dispensary. So we just
there you go.
went
It worked
to the
out.
dispensary and took our time there.
Plans had changed for the better.
And we were flexible thinkers. Look at that.
Look at
Neurotypicals.
that.
Take a note. Get a pen. Instead of getting
Get a pen.
upset that Kristin was late, we just decided to be flexible thinkers and find another fun activity to do. And that was go to the dispensary. And you can always find another activity. You can always entertain yourself, you know?
Yeah, we found that guy carrying a log in a parking lot.
Oh, yeah.
I looked at him for like a solid 10 minutes.
He was doing like a log workout where you carry a
in
giant
the rain.
log on your back in Augusta, in the Augusta Civic Center parking lot. Fucking
Everyone
Mr. Cool
who's
guy.
not from Maine is like getting a map trying to be like, where the fuck is Augusta?
It's the capital and
it's the
trash.
capital. Oh, shots fired.
Yeah, I'm not afraid to say it.
Oh.
It's a garbage town.
Kind of.
I feel like all capitals kind of are a little junky. Why is that?
What's the
I don't know.
capital of Oregon?
Salem.
Eh.
Yeah, exactly. They're like,
Meh.
They're all kind of just
What's
like, they all have this weird vacant feeling, probably because it's filled with politicians.
Boston's the capital of Massachusetts, right?
I think so.
Boston's
Yeah.
great.
Let's say yes.
Get a map.
Wish you hadn't brought this up on air.
Yeah. I don't know my capitals.
I know an embarrassingly small amount of
I know
information about
many
geography.
fun facts. Capitals are not one of those.
Montpelier is the capital of Vermont.
Whoa.
I think. If it's not, take this out, Grace. Don't embarrass
Austin
yourself.
is the capital of Texas.
I thought you said Boston. No.
There is
honey.
a Boston, Texas.
no.
I
All right.
think. Anyway.
Anyway, all right, up to camp. So
Up
yeah,
to camp.
we finally made
got
it.
there. It was dramatic, but we did it.
and we made it.
We played some board games. We played some video games.
The roads were super muddy, but
for sure.
we made it in, like the rugged Maine as we are. We did have to create some kind of rope system
Oh, yeah, we did.
in
We did
order
a
to get
ropes
ourselves
course.
down the steep ass hill.
Yep.
Because it was still icy.
Yep.
Like I said, we're rugged, and we made it.
We put crampons on to get to the cabin.
Yeah.
We are rugged.
Yes, and then we went inside the cabin and turned on the electricity and the heat
And the
got
internet.
nice and toasty. Yeah, and the internet and set up our projector and played video games.
And went on TikTok.
Just like the olden days.
Yeah, just like the
Survivalist
pioneers.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. Just
With their
practicing for
hot
the
spots.
apocalypse.
Yeah.
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 So yeah, all right, let's wrap the story up. But we do
Yeah.
need to touch upon
Both Ian Pal and I had a moment playing categories. I made fun of Ian so hard, and then I did it myself. I'm so mad. I, halfway through categories, lost track of what letter we were doing and then did the wrong letter.
started just doing a totally different
we
letter.
were like on D, and I switched to M.
And before that, well, first we rolled an E and we all vetoed E. We didn't want to do E. Then I think we got M. And Ian started doing M. And then about 3 words in, he's for some reason started doing E, which is a letter he vetoed himself. So he started doing all E words. And then we discovered this as we were reading our answers, and we all gave him shit for it that he did all E words. And then we go to do the next list, and he does it again with E.
Twice in a row,
He
Ian!
starts doing E words halfway down. It was so ridiculous.
Was that before or after he spilled the teriyaki juice on Lucy?
Oh, I think that was after. Yeah.
It was
So
a-
before that, he was making dinner, and he had a bag of raw chicken that had been marinating in teriyaki sauce, and he was holding it, like letting it kind of just swing around by his side for
There's
some
like-
reason.
Dexter-style spatters of teriyaki.
Yeah.
On the wall, on the floor, on the dog.
Yeah, like up Lucy's like butt
On her
and back,
head.
and then on her head, she was covered in teriyaki sauce. And he didn't notice and just like was walking through the house, going out to the grill. And yeah, he just left like a comical snail trail of teriyaki sauce behind him and on the dog.
But yeah, those are
Just a few quirky things up at camp.
Yeah.
But we survived, and here we are to tell about it.
We live another day.
Yep, unfortunately.
Yeah. But we've got an episode for you today. Put your Liberty Tool hard hat thinking helmets on.
Yeah, you better. We don't have insurance.
We do not have insurance. I have health insurance. So do you. We have health insurance, but we don't have other insurances.
No insurance for you. So enter at your own risk.
What a transition. Let's get into our episode. We are learning about the brain.
Dump that info on me.
Buckle up, folks. It is time to learn about the ADHD brain. And remember last time, I forget what episode it was, something about
Hippos.
Bowling for dopamine.
Bowling for dopamine.
Episode 16. We talked science. We chatted about ADHD on a microscopic level. We talked about brain cells. This time we're going bigger, slightly bigger, but still bigger. Today we're talking about brains, structures, and how they are different between neurotypicals and people with ADHD. Let's go. So, boy, wouldn't you know it, the brain has multiple different structures and areas that are all responsible for different functions. One example is your cerebellum, located kind of like at the back of your noggin. Those are technical terms.
Back noggin, yeah.
Yeah, your
I know it.
way back noggin.
Oh, yeah, the way back noggin. Way back
The way
there.
back noggin, there's this thing called the cerebellum.
There's this place called the cerebellum.
It's a magical place.
Imagine it.
Where all your motor functions come to life. But really, they do. That's one area. And we're not going to focus on it.
Just an example for some reason. All right, forget that information. We're on to the next thing.
We're on to the next thing. Keep up, people.
Forget the cerebellum. You're still talking about the cerebellum.
I love the cerebellum. It looks like basketball. You need motor function for basketball. The only brain structure I know.
Well, I hope you know a few more because you're about to talk about them.
Yeah. So here's a little disclaimer. Someone did not pay attention in neurology, and it was me. Here I am going to teach you about the brain. We're focusing on one particular area of the brain. It's called the pre-frontal cortex.
Ah! No!
The horror! Think of the children!
The horror!
Is that too much?
I think
It might
that's
be.
just enough.
Okay. All right. Everybody.
Like everything we do, just
Yeah,
enough.
Just enough.
Just right.
Everybody, tap your forehead. Oh, ow. Gently. Tap it. Keep tapping.
Easy.
So right there. Okay, you can stop tapping now. Just behind your forehead is your skull. And just behind that, there's a few more things. And then eventually, hey, there's your brain.
So
And
technical.
right there. And specifically in that spot is your frontal lobe. And within this lobe, there's another area called the prefrontal cortex, which is, wouldn't you know it, our topic for today. We've already said this. I just wanted to give everybody a visual so they can point.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
Yes. You're welcome.
The prefrontal cortex is responsible for many things such as planning, personality expression, decision-making, and impulsivity. It also helps to focus thoughts and, in theory, enables us to pay attention, learn, and concentrate on goals. To reference a previous episode,
Episode 16,
yeah, Bowling for Dopamine,
Bowling for Dopamine.
the prefrontal cortex, aka the PFC, is
PFC.
the PFC is responsible for our executive functioning, and this is our quote-unquote butler, or in our case, our shitty butler.
Our shitty butler. It sounds like a children's
A
book.
sitcom.
Yeah.
Our shitty butler. Wah, wah, wah.
Wah.
Gregory, you never get it right. Our shitty butler.
There needs to be like a laugh track in the
Yes.
back. Like,
Maybe I'll
what a
add a laugh
shitty
track.
butler. Oh, yeah, wait, add it. Okay.
Okay, it's added.
Okay.
Good thing we paused there.
As we've mentioned before, research is still being done today to figure out the exact causes and pathways of the ADHD brain. But here are some good guesses. And by guesses, I mean legitimate peer-reviewed research.
So not guesses.
So not guesses. It's
hypotheses.
Whoa. And actual research.
Oh.
Bum, 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 bum. Let's go. So number 1, the prefrontal cortex is smaller in the ADHD brain than the prefrontal cortex in the neurotypical. That's one. I was going to say guess again. Theory. There we go. I feel bad calling them guesses. Like people are like really, 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 really studying.
So it's like we have like physically smaller prefrontal cortexes.
Right. It's the whole segment of the brain is smaller than that of a neurotypical, which may lead us to have difficulties with like impulse control and emotional regulation because we don't have as much of that brain segment as a neurotypical.
Gotcha.
Another theory is that the PFC develops at a slower rate in the ADHD brain than it does in the neurotypical brain. These studies I found were older compared to the other ones from like the 2010s. These ones were like early 2000s that I found.
And that's kind of like an outdated theory now.
I feel like I need to like really read those articles to have like a full opinion on that. But
well, I'm wondering if those articles and kind of the popularity of when those came into the public eye, if that kind of correlates with that old theory that by old, I mean, we know it's old, but I feel like it's kind of still circulating around there, is that people grow out of ADHD. And that's,
which is like not a thing.
Yeah. You don't grow out of your brain structure.
Yeah. And my gut is telling me that you're right, but the amount of research I did on this subject is telling me that I need to do more research on this subject.
Okay, all right.
I would say
that's a theory, just a theory that we have come up with.
A grace theory. Sure. And you know what? I think you're onto something, but you know what I also know is that I should probably read more.
Okay. This has been a grace theory.
Grace theories.
Grace theories.
And then another one is one that we already talked about is that the genetic expression disparities of the D1 receptors and the DAT transporters. So your bowling alley and your ball returns from episode 16, go back, listen. If you express genes that are like slightly wonky, you're going to have a hard time sending signals in that area. Those are the 3 running things. Maybe it's all 3. Maybe it's none of them. Maybe it's some of them. We're still figuring it out.
All right. Now that Science Kristin has given us an overview of what's going on up there, let's talk about what that looks like down here. And just
no one can see you.
Just picture me gesturing vaguely.
There's some sort of gesture going on.
Grace gestures vaguely.
No. It's not. It's like a regular, like, down there gesture.
Yeah, just general. You know, you get the gist. Let's talk about what that unregulated attention looks like when we're attempting to do tasks around the house.
Here's a PSA. Science Kristin is gone. Forget she exists. She was never here. She's a myth. Like narwhals.
Exactly like narwhals.
So regular Kristin is here to say something.
Hey, regular Kristin. Good to see you.
Good to be back. Let's quote an article. Alison Kravitz.
No Z. Just Kravitz.
Kravitz.
Leave off the Z.
I just want her to be related to Lenny Kravitz. Wouldn't that be crazy?
That'd be Kravitz.
Oh, you tried. That was a fail.
I tried, but I still did
it. B for effort. This is an author who wrote a really nice analogy in her article, Everything You Never Knew About the ADHD Brain, which is in our favorite magazine, Attitude Magazine. You should check it out. It's going to be in the show notes. We linked it, of course. And she relates the PFC of an ADHD brain to an intersection that is a traffic intersection with no stoplights or signals or anything. There's just cars, and each car is like a different emotion or a thought or a feeling or a task that you forgot to do. And they're just like ramming into each other, and it's just this huge mega car pileup, and cars are on fire, and mothers are weeping for their dead children, and there's sirens and flashes of the ambulance, and then the ambulance crashes, and then it's a mess. The horror.
The horror.
Yeah.
I really got a visceral idea of what you're talking about there.
I hope you're nauseous from that.
I'm
vivid
sick about
imagery.
I won't sleep tonight. So in this theory, this unregulated intersection may explain why we have such fickle attention, as the article calls it. I kind of like that word fickle.
I
feel like
it rhymes with pickle.
It does rhyme with pickle. That is a great point. I'm glad you said that. Thank God you brought that up, Kristin. This episode is brought to you by Pickle. Allison Kravitz says, people with ADHD get distracted because whatever is in their focus in the moment cuts off other weaker messages. This can happen mid-conversation when a word triggers a thought that leads a person to another subject entirely. End quote. God, don't I know that. This same thing happens when we are trying to get things done around the house. We will start doing one task, like let's say loading the dishwasher, and then while we're going around the house collecting all the various cups and mugs that we know are scattered throughout our houses, another task jumps into focus and we think, oh, that's right, I still have to do that. Let me just do that real quick. And then it's 5 hours later and we've started 14 different projects and we've finished nothing. We are officially naming this the if you give a moose a muffin effect.
It's so true.
Yeah, because there's always like a somewhat logical path leading back to that starter task. And we can like see how we ended up there where like I started doing this thing and it's like, oh, well, if I do that, I should really take care of this real quick. And then it's like, oh, well, if I'm going in that room, I really should bring that there. And it's just like one leads to another, leads to another.
Right.
And Kristin, I know that you recently fell victim to the
last night.
If you give a moose a muffin effect.
I did.
So why don't you tell us about it?
Yeah. So I was getting ready for bed and I still had my bag. My bag is not unpacked, of course.
Why would it be?
No.
It's only been like
on the
a
floor.
day.
Yeah.
What are you, neurotypical?
Right. So my bag is not unpacked, obviously. And my toothbrush is in my bag. And I'm like, oh, if I want to go to bed, I got to brush my teeth, right? That's like basic oral hygiene.
Yep.
So I go into my room to get my toothbrush so I can brush my teeth so I can get ready for bed. I see in my bedroom that my plants in the bedroom need to be watered. So I take them out and I put them in the tub for a little tubby.
Just a little tubby.
I hose them down with the shower. It's like the best way to water your plants for me because you can do like a bunch at once. Makes it easier. I start taking the plants out to put in the tub. And then I'm like, well, if I do the bedroom plants, I should probably check on the living room plants. So I go over to the living room and I look, some need to be watered. But then I look and I remember because I took some wisteria seeds from a pod that fell on the ground outside your house because you have that big wisteria vine. Yep. You remember that?
Seed stealer. Yes, I do remember.
They were already on the ground. You're going to do nothing with those seeds. Well, you know what? Well, I put them under a wet paper towel for a week and now they've got roots.
Ooh, so, that's exciting.
Yeah, all 4 of them. I was really excited because I thought they were all dead seeds, but nope. There's something alive.
Oh, there's something in them seeds.
So then I was so excited about the seeds. I was like, holy shit, I got to put these guys in dirt. They're ready for dirt.
So you go to Dunkin' Donuts and you get a large coffee.
No, so then I drag out all of my different like dirt supplies and my shovels and my plant stuff to get out like a little nursery pot so I can put all the seeds in the pots and do all that. And then I realized I did like scavenge some like little seed treelings at camp from your house, from your property, which isn't stealing. Just want to make it known that's okay. That's like how bonsai was created. Anyway, so then I was like, well, they're right now kind of like in a vase and they really should be in a plant pot. They're like ready to be in a plant pot. So then I was like, well, I might as well plant those. And then as I'm doing this, Christopher comes out of the shower. He's like, what the fuck? I thought you were going to bed. And I was like, it's going to be fine. There's just like dirt everywhere. I'm covered with dirt. I have to re-shower. And then, but long story short, everything's watered. All my plants are potted that need to be. Oh, and I also defoliated a ficus, which I'll talk about later.
All right. The real question, though, is did you brush your teeth?
I did eventually. So what I did is I repotted all the plants I needed to pot. I watered all the things. I had to re-shower because I was covered in dirt. So I had to take all my plants out of the tubby and then put them back in the tubby because they love the humidity. Tubby humid.
What'd you call me?
And then by the time I showered or got out of the shower, I was like, oh, I need to go brush my teeth. My toothbrush is in the bedroom.
And repeat.
But all my plants were watered. So then I finally like got in the bed. But it was like, I think I started that process at 10 and I didn't get to bed till like 12:30.
Jesus Christ. But your plants got done.
Plants got done.
Little accomplishment.
That's my, if you give a moose a muffin effect. And it literally happened last night. And I would like to say that happens more often than not.
Yep. Happens to me all the time.
All the time.
I don't usually end up covered in dirt, though. That's a Kristin specific one.
Well, it's because not just dirt, but I bought a bag of activated charcoal because that's really good.
God.
So it's just like, and then if you like little scratch your nose, now you've got charcoal nose. And I'm just like, my hands are covered. I've got it in my hair. And I was like, shoot, there's no recovering from this. Back to the shower. But yeah, I think that's all I have for brain stuff. Do you have anything to add?
Well, that's a prime example of if you give a moose a muffin. And one tip I wanted to add real quick, not that I actually use this myself, I need to, but this is a really good tip for if you get distracted when you're cleaning, like let's say you're cleaning one room and you get distracted by realizing, oh, I should bring this dish to the kitchen or whatever. You get a bin and you put it in the room of whatever you're cleaning. And then anything that doesn't belong in that room, instead of like leaving the room, stay in the room and just put everything that doesn't go in there in the bin. And then you go and do that after. But that way you're not like wandering about the house doing like bouncing from thing to thing to thing.
Right.
You know, it's like at least contained in the room, even if you're bounced around the room.
I guess I'm in a 1-bedroom apartment, so I feel like that's a little
different.
Unnecessary. But yeah, if I ever get a big boy house.
Well, this isn't just for you. This is for the listeners.
Well, fine. Usually I go around life thinking everything's about me.
I know you do.
Yeah.
But if you, when you're in a big girl house, that's a good idea. And when I'm in a big girl house, that is also a good idea. So good idea all around. Someone, an ADHD creator came up with that. I can't remember who. It may be Casey Davis. I might just be assuming that because she has great house hacks. I'll try to find it. We'll see.
The
Either
TikTok may be in the show notes. It may not be.
Maybe. We'll see. All right. And that's all I have for brain stuff.
Hope your brain's full.
My brain's stuffed to the brim.
Mine's been full.
Can't fit another thought.
Should we transition?
Yeah, let's transition. Oh, is that like a soft rock version?
Yeah, it was a butt soft rock.
Oh, you got any more?
Soft butt.
Soft butt?
Transition.
That's the only word.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the only word I know. You want me to make up a song on the spot?
I was kind of hoping you would, but I guess not. I guess that's expecting too much of you.
Yeah, I think that's quite a high expectation, Grace.
All right. Forgot where I was. Where is my head?
Transition.
And transition.
Transition.
All right. Welcome back from that transition. Or do you have more?
No, I'm done.
Oh, okay.
Welcome back from that transition. I hope your brain is full like mine. Grace, would you like to share your little accomplishment?
Oh, surely I would. We didn't even sing our song.
I know. That's why I'm waiting for you to start because you get the cues.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's do it.
Are you ready?
Yeah. Are you?
Yes.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
Little accomplishments, but big in our hearts.
Yay.
Yay.
All right. What did you do?
All right. This weekend, I accomplished a thing I did Ian and I did together.
Oh.
Not just me. We did most of our taxes yesterday.
Nice.
Yeah. Filled out all our paperwork.
Those.
We have a tax guy, Glenn Johnson.
Glenn.
He's great. Shout out to Glenn
Glenny.
Johnson. You're not listening to this.
Nah, that's all right.
So we have this big like paperwork tax stack is what I'll call it.
Okay.
A stack of tax paperwork
Tax
bullshit.
stack.
Tax stack. Tax stack.
It needs like the bum bum.
That's exactly what I was picturing.
tax stack.
I'll add that here.
Okay.
Lots of sound effects going into this one.
Tax stack.
Tax stack. I have high hopes for myself on the editing side of this. So we did our tax stack and we got most of it done. And I will hopefully drop it off at Glenn's office the end of the week. Hopefully, fingers crossed. See if I do it. We'll see. Yeah. Little accomplishment.
I gotta do mine. Fuck.
Well, don't think about it right now.
I'm thinking.
Forget it. Forget it.
Okay.
Forget your tax stack. All right. What did you accomplish? Let's focus on the positives.
Oh, okay. This morning I did this. I called my healthcare insurance.
Oh.
I know. And it was it took me like 3 tries because I got nervous and hung up.
Been there.
I always and then I think it was like twice I got nervous, and then one time I got so nervous I forgot to listen to the options, and so I just hung up and started over.
Nice. Fresh slate.
I called them, and then it was like the computer people, and then they're like, do you want to hear our hours? And I'm like, no, I don't want, you have to go through that whole thing. Anyway.
Infuriating.
All I wanted to do was inquire about my asthma inhaler because I think I shouldn't have to pay that much money every month for my asthma inhaler. And my PCP told me to call the insurance company to see if there were cheaper options. And turns out there's not. So ADHD hack, just don't take your inhaler. That's what I'm going to do.
Life hack.
I haven't really taken it anyway. And
legally, please take your inhalers. We are not liable for any asthmatic-related deaths.
If there's one thing you should know about me, I'm the most non-compliant patient you'll ever meet. And I don't follow my own advice. And I would, do as I say, as not as I do.
Is this a little accomplishment?
I called the insurance company, okay? I figured it out. I figured out that I don't want to take my inhalers anymore.
Just took a really negative turn.
Yes.
I don't think you should decide that you're not taking your inhaler on your own. I don't think that should be a you decision. You should talk to a doctor about that.
I should probably talk to a doctor about it.
You could die from that.
It's not a rescue inhaler. It's the maintenance inhaler, which is like,
You could still die.
Your
asthma could go downhill, and then
I have my rescue inhaler.
And then something triggers it, and you don't have your rescue inhaler.
Always have my rescue inhaler.
What if you don't?
I have your rescue inhaler.
All right, fair enough.
No. I should take it. I'll call her back. I'll get the inhaler. I'll pout for a little bit. But I just think it's stupidly expensive.
Little accomplishment.
I hate healthcare. No, I hate the American healthcare system.
I do too.
I like working in healthcare. I hate the American healthcare system.
Yeah, my meds are so fucking expensive. My asthma meds are expensive.
There's no need.
My ADHD meds are expensive. And I'm like paying hundreds of dollars a month just to be able to function enough to empty the dishwasher.
You know, I feel like you're paying just as much as somone who's on 18 different medications.
Right?
Right? We'll save this for the Patreon because I am about to get heated.
All right. Turn down that heat.
Okay, because we're talking about quirks.
All right, let's do it. Oh, kazoo.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
You're just sitting there staring at each other. There she is. Some people call me spacey, some people call me fun, but I'm just quirky. Beautiful.
I'm waiting for Lucy, but nothing. Oh, because there's pizza upstairs.
Distracted by the pizza.
Distracted by the pizza. Lucy, don't eat my pizza.
Back off our pizza.
Pizza.
Give me pizza.
P-I-Z-Z-A. What a throwback.
Whipped cream pouring like waterfalls.
It was like a YouTube video from the early 2010s that referenced a Mary-Kate and Ashley home video from the 90s. It was a reference of a reference.
It wasn't a home video. It was just one of those tacky.
It was like a
videos they did.
VHS tape.
I was little kids,
released
7.
to video only. You know?
Oh yeah,
definitely. It wasn't in the theaters, right?
Yeah, there's a whole line of them, a whole series of them. People loved them.
Man. Anyway,
maybe I'll link that YouTube video. We'll see.
You want to tell us your quirkies?
I would love to.
Yeah.
All right, quirk number 1.
Yep.
I, much like your cat Snickers, I hate the feeling of wind on me.
You and Snickers have so much in common.
Cannot stand it. And I always think I like
You don't
boats.
like being wet?
I don't mind being wet.
You hate loud noises.
I don't mind being in the wet. It's just the transition between wet and dry and wet. I don't like the transition.
Sure,
most things with ADHD, and like this podcast shows you, we have trouble with transitions.
What?
So it's not the being wet, but with the wind, I hate the constant feeling of something bombarding me. It just feels very overwhelming, and I get really dysregulated. I hate when my hair is blowing about. I hate the feeling of wind on my skin. I just don't like it. I don't like it. Back off, wind. Back off, Kristin.
I'm not. I agree.
Okay.
I hate those days where it's really sunny out and really the temperature is nice, but the wind makes it, when you have that wind chill factor and you're like, son of a gun, it could have been a nice day and the wind had to just come along and ruin it.
I know, and I feel like my eyes get all watery and I just get all up in a fluster.
So you don't like the wind, but what about...
What about what? I'm dying.
But what about the breeze?
When does a breeze become a wind?
We're going to take a poll.
These are the things we think about.
Or I guess just ask the question, when does the breeze become a wind?
Yeah, at what stage does a breeze become a wind?
And what is bluster? What is a bluster?
Yeah, where does that fall in the wind?
In the wind to breeze
pipeline.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
Hard-hitting facts.
Hard-hitting questions.
All right, quirk number 2.
Yeah.
I still have my Halloween lights hung up, and it is almost April.
It's almost time for next Halloween.
Yeah, saving time.
Yeah.
ADHD hack. Just leave your lights up.
Just leave your lights up. There you go.
Not to call Haley out, but I recently went over to her house, and she still had a Merry Christmas mat out front. So I'm not the only one. Halloween is significantly
you that's
further back, but
The whole 2 months.
yeah. But okay, so I left the Halloween. My actual plan was I wanted to leave the Halloween lights up on purpose outside.
Oh.
I like the orange light. I think it's a fun, nice color all year round. I like having kind of a Halloween-y house. But then I think the lights burnt out and broke, and then I just left them up, and they're still up.
So you just have broken lights up. It's not even Halloween.
Broken Halloween lights. Yep. And I will not take them down.
Nice.
Taking a stand. All right. And quirk number 3.
Yeah.
I do not have the emotional regulation to use Siri and Alexa successfully. It makes me.
What does that mean?
It just makes me immediately angry when she can't understand me, and it's just like not worth it. I hate being misunderstood. Probably relates to something in my past with ADHD and people not understanding me. I don't know why I'm mocking my own
quirky.
trauma. Yeah. So I hate being misunderstood. It just like really frustrates me. And when, especially Siri, that bitch, when Siri can't understand me, or it just like, it makes me so upset that it's just like, I'll just do it myself.
Just type it in myself.
And I just like, I don't want to bother because I don't want to like upset myself. I'm so quirky.
You're so quirky.
So fucking quirky.
So quirky. My parents have a Google Home, and they both have pretty strong Maine accents.
Yes.
And so they don't really know or understand how the Google Chrome works. So all they know how to do, because the guy showed them, like came free with their house phone or something. They know how to ask it the weather, but they don't say weather, they say weather. And so when they first got it, they're like, look at this, look at this, look at this technology. Come here, it's going to tell you the weather. They go, Google. And it's like, bing, and they're like, what is the weather? And it's just like, I'm sorry, I can't understand. What is the weather? And it's like both my parents back and forth. Weather. What is the weather? And I'm like, oh my God.
The volume is not the issue here.
It's just two, and they're like 2 feet from the, it can hear you. It just can't understand you.
See, I like that I gave up immediately and just don't even bother, whereas they're like persisted with it. Like, why aren't they being so bothered that they quit?
And
just give up.
I'm like looking at, I'm like, it's going to be like sunny and 45 tomorrow. They're like, no, it's going to tell us. And I was like, you just watch the news. You don't need this. Just throw it away. It's like it's not even worth it. Like, give it to a 15-year-old with nothing to do, you know?
Yeah, they're not even like utilizing it for anything.
It just collects dust. And every once in a while, if they remember that it's there, they'll be like, Google, what is the weather? And it's just like, please say that again. And they're like,
They don't even care about the weather.
My dad's just like, Jesus H. Christ.
They're also very quirky.
Yeah. They have their quirks.
Love those Maine accents.
Yeah. But I've got quirks too.
All right, what are your quirks?
Yeah. As we well know by my previous story, I do my best plant work at night.
Yes,
Spontaneously. When it's not needed.
Night plant work.
Yeah. How else do you do plant work?
That's the only way.
Yep. During the day? No way.
In fact, that's the official slogan of night plant work.
Night plant work.
During the day? No way.
Yeah. We'll make a sticker with a plant on it. Nighttime plant work, a company.
Plant at night, do it right.
Oh my gosh, Karen's like rolling her eyes right now. I can see her. She's gonna be like, no, supposed to water in the morning. I never do. It's always at night. Anyway, quirk number 2.
Yep.
Absolutely love the feeling of stepping on a crunchy pine cone. Crunchy being the key. I don't want soft pine cones. It's gotta be crunchy. That like that's going to sound really good on mic.
Yeah, I'm sure you nailed that sound.
Everybody knows what I'm talking about. That like nice, like you get a nice crunch. Yep. Especially the small, like the ones that are like shoe size.
I kind of like that too.
And they're just like, you just crunch.
I like a crunchy leaf.
Ooh, crunchy leaves are good. They're no pine cones.
I think that's just a difference in opinion.
Just get a rush with a pine cone. It's just this like finite like crunch. There
it is.
But
a leaf, you get like the
pine cone no
leaf.
one.
Okay, here's one we can both agree on. That is the best.
We'll take a poll.
All right.
Crunchy leaves or crunchy pine cones?
What's better? All right, but also what about that really, really thin ice when it's like in little layers frozen on a puddle? Is there anything better than crunching that little crunchy ice on a puddle?
My concern about the ice is that I do not want to get my shoes wet.
No. It's like dry. It's like a mud puddle froze.
Yes.
And then it has like thin little layers and you just tinkle it. It's like tinkling it.
Yeah. You always run the risk of getting your shoes wet.
Yeah, but
I
the
can't.
reward is
I
worth
can't
it.
run that risk.
You're not a risk taker when it comes to puddle crunching. Okay, interesting.
No, I am because I'm very impulsive.
It's
but
worth it. It's worth the risk.
It is. It is nice. No, I'll give you that. It's very nice. It's nice.
I would surely risk a soggy shoe for the satisfaction of a ice tinkle. That's another official slogan.
Ice tinkles.
Ice tinkles.
Are ice tinkles worth the soggy shoes? New poll coming out.
Forget that last poll. No, we'll
Yeah.
do both polls.
We'll do both polls. We need to know.
Leaves versus pine cones and
Crunchy leaves versus crunchy pine cones.
and tinkle ice. Is it worth it? Is it worth the risk? Right. Some say yes. All right, Kristen, what is your third quirk? Jesus. Once again, we've gone off the rails.
We've gone off the rails. My third quirk is that I have this love-hate relationship with doing the dishes where I feel like they have to be done. It's almost like a compulsion of like, these dishes have to be done. I know I'm going to feel better once they are done. I'm going to feel great because the dishes are going to be done. However, I have no motivation to do the dishes because I hate doing the dishes. I hate the act of doing the dishes. I don't want to get off the couch to go do the dishes, but I know I'm going to feel better once the dishes are done. So I don't do it because I can't do it, but then I feel bad because I feel like my house is dirty and it causes me a lot of anxiety and stress because I know I have to do it at some point. I have to do these dishes. I can't concentrate on anything else but these goddamn dishes. And I just think about like, I got to do the dishes. I don't want to do the dishes. Sometimes I start tasks, anything but the dishes, you know, just to get rid of the dishes, but the dishes are still there. They're always there. And then
the dishes never stop.
The dishes never stop. It's gone to the point where sometimes I lie awake at night just thinking about I should have done the dishes.
Oh my
and then
God.
I can't sleep because I'm upset about the dishes. I'm so quirky.
You're so quirky. I relate to parts of that, not to the extremeness of it, of not being able to sleep. I can sleep just fine with a pile of dishes. Sleep like a baby. But I do relate to the part about wanting to do something really badly and knowing it'll make you feel better and you're like screaming at yourself internally to do it.
Oh, yeah.
And you just can't get yourself to do it. And then you're miserable about it.
And then you do it and it doesn't even take that long. And you're like, oh my God, I feel great.
Yep. But if a car doesn't have any gas, you can't just like will it to go, you know?
Right.
So part of that is you don't have the dope to do it.
Don't have that dope.
And also there's so much importance tied into it. That's probably also, you know,
right.
There's a lot of build up.
One of those, it's like folding laundry, which is another thing. Ugh. It's just, I don't have the motivation to do it, but I know I'll feel better once it's done.
Yep.
Yeah.
Feel that?
Anyway,
you're so quirky. All right, let's start this fucking episode. I mean, not episode,
finish
segment.
it.
Let's finish this.
I'm ready.
All right, but for real, let's gallop on
Let's go.
over to the next
All right.
segment
Choo-choo.
town.
Let's chug away.
Oh, I thought I was doing a horse
we're doing
metaphor.
a horse metaphor. Okay. I was sorry. My horse was on a train.
All right, horse train coming this summer.
2024 horse train.
Someone's riding someone and it's not the way you think. Horse train. A little train on a horse. All right.
Oh, man. Let's chug and or gallop along to our next segment.
Smooth. Let's do it.
Let's go.
What is our
It's
song?
you know it. You know it.
Dun, 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 dun.
I was just singing.
Oh,
You're the drum.
Yeah, Karen's drum was so much better than mine. I feel like I should just take. Can I just take her drum? Because now this is going to come after that episode. Are you kidding me?
No, you got to do it.
This is going to come after
you gotta
that.
We do it live. We do it live.
I don't want to.
Oh, you're so good at it, though. You've been practicing, and sure, Karen upstage you by a whole heck of a bunch, but you've been practicing, and you're kind of okay.
I haven't been practicing. I'm going to be honest.
Practicing and practicing. That's all you do is
in my room.
You got it. You got it. I believe in you.
Embarrassing.
I
All right.
believe.
Can we just change the song? Let's just do a new song. Karen ended it, and now that's the best it'll ever be.
No, we don't have a new song lined up. You come at me
I'll
with a
do
new
one on the spot.
Yeah?
Yep.
I think we should do one basic song as a backup in case your new song fails.
I feel like you don't have much faith or belief in my new song.
No. It's not
I can see it in your eyes.
No.
I can tell by the way you're saying no. Fine, let's just do the regular song because now I'm embarrassed and I'm nervous.
No,
and I don't want to do a new song. I don't even want to do a new song.
Don't be nervous.
I am, and I don't even want to do a new song. So let's just like, all right.
Holy shit. You are flying in high.
All right, what if I just do a new instrument? What else?
Sure.
What other instrument could I do?
A different drum.
All right, I'll do a different drum that goes.
Okay.
How's that?
I gotta change my whole. And maybe if you do that, I'll do different bubbles. You've got like deep bubbles. I'll go high bubbles.
All right.
Oh wait.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's hard.
Okay.
All right.
All right. This is Hobby Collectors, the bubble version. Take one.
For some reason.
For some reason, we just switched it up to bubbles.
I couldn't think of any other instrument noises.
Okay.
Except bubbles?
We gotta change up our voice too. We can do like a very transatlantic accent. I think we got a basic routine down. These are the collectors, and these are the hobbies.
All right, beautiful.
Is it?
No, but
Folks, we went in a different direction. Please, we're taking a poll.
no, I don't want the results. I can't take it.
I want the results. Grace, don't look then.
My heart can't take it.
Your
I know the
heart
answer.
will be fine. What do you like? You like the drums or you like the bubble version?
You like neither?
You like neither?
We
Send in your
understand.
thoughts on. We're having trouble with our hobby collector song.
If you want to write us a better hobby collectors and you have like a really simple mouth instrument that we can both do.
Is it bubble mouth?
Is it bubble mouth? Because we know bubble mouth. All right, we know bubble mouth.
We know drum
kind
mouth.
of. I know barely snare drum mouth. It's iffy at best.
Almost guitar mouth for me.
Is that a guitar? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a bass.
Yeah, bass drum.
Bow,
I mean bass
bow.
guitar. Yeah. Bow, bow,
Wow.
day, bow, bow. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So if you've got, send in your hobby collector songs. We would love to hear them.
If you have anything better. Yeah. Oh yeah. You could send us a recording.
Ooh, you could hit us up on TikTok. We should make a TikTok of us doing the bubble collector.
No. We got to move on.
Okay. All right. We're doing a hobby update. We did it. We talked a lot about the brain. We can't talk a lot about hobby collectors.
We got to make it real quick. We probably just spent longer trying to do this fucking song than we
it was
will
supposed to be
on hobby collectors.
a zippity bop, and it ended up being super long.
It ended up being a shoe.
And now it's even longer.
All right.
I have a hobby update.
Yo.
Do you have any hobby
No.
updates? Okay. All right.
Blast off.
All right. I repotted my favorite bonsai that Tofu's mom gave me. And then I realized all the leaves were like disintegrating. I don't know how else to describe it. And so then I defoliated it, which means
What does
you
that
take
mean?
all the leaves off. And
Ah.
apparently, if you do a hard root pruning, this is what Nigel Saunders on Bonsai Zone told me. You do a hard root pruning, you gotta defoliate. And now it's thriving. If you want information on that, I can totally link in some Nigel stuff or some bonsai stuff. Nigel Saunders from the Bonsai Zone. He is my
You're Nigel. He's
my
just your Nigel.
No, what's it when you have like a mentor?
guru?
A mentor. He doesn't
A
know it.
plantor.
Oh, Plantosaurus.
Yeah, he's your Plantosaurus
He's
Rex.
my Plantosaurus Rex.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my hobby update. And now it's time for alternative segments. Wow!
On this episode's alternative segments, we're doing ADHD characters we love.
We love them.
All right, Kristen, who is your ADHD character?
Charlie from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yep.
I don't think I have to explain this.
No.
Just watch an episode.
A single episode.
Yeah.
will tell
Anyone,
you.
pick your pick of the litter.
Yeah.
Moving on, Grace.
Yeah.
Who's your guy?
All right, mine is the whole family from Malcolm in the Middle, except I haven't figured out Malcolm yet. If someone knows what his deal is, let me know. But specifically, Hal, the dad from Malcolm in the Middle, Bryan Cranston, and specifically
This is pre Walter White.
yes, this is have you
For the Gen Zs, pre Walter White.
There's a theory that this is like Walter White's life before Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad.
Breaking Brad.
Breaking Brad. It's a horse named Brad. Just a man and his horse breaking bread.
Oh my gosh.
Coming this fall. So mine is Hal from Malcolm in the Middle. Specifically the episode when he tries to change the light bulb and he ends up changing his car oil.
Right. He had a if you give a moose a muffin reference.
Yes, where Lois, I think, asks him to change the light bulb. And then like hours later, he's under his car, like covered in oil.
He's like, well, I'm in the garage, so I have to do this, and then I have to do this, and then I have to change the oil.
Yep. And she's like, I thought I asked you to change the light bulb. He's like, I am.
Like a classic if you give a moose a muffin.
Yes, Hal is the ultimate if you give him a muffin. And the other episode that is very ADHD in the most ridiculous way is the episode where he gets addicted to steamrolling.
I have to rewatch that.
Give it a rewatch. Ian and I have been rewatching it on and off. It's very good. For the most part, it holds up. It's very funny. It's very clever. The humor is amazing. It's a great study of ADHD. Hal, I think, rents a steamroller and then he gets like really, really into it. And he like
steamroller
goes
what?
mad. And Dewey has to like stand in the road and like stop him from steamrolling.
Dewey.
Yeah. All right.
This has been
Alternative Segments.
Pew, 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 pew.
Alternative.
Wow. All right, our train has chugged into town
And our horse is galloped right behind
to
it.
this train station.
Or on top of it. Yeah, they're meeting at the train
Right.
station.
They're
Meeting
met.
for a
It's
coffee.
it's a meet cute.
Oh, it's a meet cute. Yep.
This is how we write our book, Horse Meets Train.
Forbidden love. Isn't there a genre of book that's like train mystery or something? It's something to do with like, I don't know, travels on a train. Does this fall into that category?
No.
You think they'll
This
let us in?
almost- I feel like this almost falls into those crypto erotic fantasy novels.
Oh, yeah.
Like someone falls in
Yep.
love with Mothman
You're
or
absolutely
something
right.
like that.
Yes. More of like a creepypasta.
Yeah.
I think we should write it.
You know, I think we should let the listeners write it. If you want to write in a
No.
little creepypasta
Oh, yeah. Okay.
or a little tittle bit.
yeah.
Ew.
yeah.
A little okay, let me start over. If you want to write in a cute little story about how a horse falls in love with a train and a train loves it back,
It's
I
kind
would
of
love to read that.
it's kind of like fan fiction, I guess.
Fan fiction
Except we haven't
Make
written the
it-
original book.
as PG-13 as possible.
Or R.
Or R.
We'll
I guess,
take
yeah,
it. Or
yeah.
X.
Yeah, I'll take
I'll
anything.
take it all.
You wanna write some fan fiction about a horse meeting a train? I will gladly read that.
All right. Podcast business idea. We are so good at coming up with absurd ideas that we don't want to actually like follow through on because they're always coming and going. They're always coming. What if maybe in the future for Patreon content, we give out story prompts like Horse Meets Train, I guess.
Horse Meets Train.
And people can write their own listener pastas / fan fiction little stories, and then we can read them as Patreon content.
We could do that. People got to write in. And how would you do that? You would write into weirdsofeather@gmail.com.
Yep.
Send us in PDF format
Sure. Or,
or a Google Doc.
or it could just be typed in there.
It could,
an
be
email.
it could be typed in the email.
It could be
that's
typed
right.
in there. But we
Yeah.
will read your story. If it's too raunchy for this podcast, which I don't know. I feel like we accept a solid amount of raunch, but we'll make our executive decisions.
Yeah.
We do have a child listener, right? Isn't your
We have a couple Gen Z listeners. We have.
But isn't your coworker's daughter like a legit child?
She's in high school. So
All right. So yes.
she's under 18.
Yes,
She
okay.
cannot go to war.
That's a good way to categorize
Yeah.
her. I wish. If only. But unfortunately, she cannot go to war. But yeah, if she's listening to this podcast,
I
she's
feel
heard
like-
a solid amount. And by the time you get to high school these days, you've seen it all. You
Yeah.
have the internet.
Yeah.
You've seen horse train porn before. This isn't
no,
your first.
no
This isn't your
one's seen
first
that.
horse train erotica. Am I right, Gen Z? I know what you guys are into. Anyways, yeah, well,
Okay, no one's into that. Maybe.
maybe we
we
could write it.
I used to work with a surgeon who would always tell me, he's like, there's this theory that whatever you can think up of, there's been a porn about that.
Absolutely.
It's like one of the things, the more you think, the more you're like, yes, but then the more you're like, ugh. And he'd tell me this and he'd be like, think of it. And I'm like,
He's right. He's right.
I'm trying to work here. I don't want to think about that.
You can multitask.
Horse meets train.
Horse meets train. Train meets horse.
Oh.
Yeah, anyways, write us in and we will read it maybe on the podcast or maybe we'll save it for Patreon content. We'll see. Depends on the raunch.
Anyway, our horse has arrived to the station. The train
Back to the horse
has
metaphor.
arrived to the station. Everybody's at the station. It's time for pizza
We're
secrets.
meeting for a pizza party.
A pizza party at the train
I was
station.
just about to say that. Gather your friends, gather your trains, gather your horses.
Bring your
Meeting at the pizza trough.
your sodas.
Yep. Individual sodas.
Yep. And your juice boxes, maybe your Capri Sun or 2 or 5. Those things are delicious.
Maybe it might be nice if you brought a side salad. That might be nice if you contributed a little.
Yeah.
You know?
If you're invited to a party, you should contribute at least a housewarming gift, a train station warming gift.
All right, let's warm up this train station with some pizza secrets.
Some piping hot pizza secrets.
Yep. Let's get into that pizza secret song
All right.
that we know and love.
Pizza secrets. Tell me your secrets. Pizza secrets. Yeah. All right. You want to go first? You want me to go first? You want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
I'll
You gotta make a decision.
You know what? I'm gonna go first.
Okay.
Executive decision.
Okay.
All right.
Proud of you.
Mine is called printer shame in the
Ooh.
teacher's workroom.
I'm intrigued.
Anyone who has ever been a teacher in the public school system will feel me on this one, but also you might hate me because I've been that teacher that you hate before. So when I worked in the Virginia public school system, we had like little teacher workrooms at our individual schools, like, you know, a bullshit printer that was always broken. But they had like a whole teacher's workroom hub where all the teachers from the Virginia Beach public school system come and like print stuff, and there's colored paper and everything you need to like just do all that extra work that you have to do as a teacher to prepare after your workday is done. That's like unpaid labor, you know, that kind of fun stuff, fun girly things like that. Just kidding. Teaching is not gender specific. So they had this rule about printing because so many people were printing there that you could only print, I think it was like 20 pages of cardstock, that like thick paper.
Oh.
The good stuff.
The good stuff.
Yeah. So I think it was like a 20-page limit just because they didn't want people printing like a fuckload of it. So I'm printing off this little like booklet for my kids.
Cardstock.
No, it did not even need to be on cardstock. I think I wanted.
Oh, no.
And that's like the worst part. That like part of it needed to be on cardstock, but like the whole thing did not. It was just like a book I was putting together. I accidentally printed off like 142 pages of cardstock. And the other thing about cardstock is it's really slow to print. 'Cause It's like a thicker paper. It's like the special printer. And
Well, could you just unplug the...
nope, it would not stop. Like I couldn't cancel it. And other people were like, had things going. So I couldn't just shut down the whole system. And the teacher's workroom was like filled with people. They were like at least maybe 10 other people in there printing things. So I thought I'd only printed like, 20 pages on it. And then like more and more start coming. I'm like, oh no. And I look at my computer, 140 whatever pages. I couldn't cancel it. I like tried to X out of it. And then like the lineup of people who are also trying to print cardstock starts building up behind me, waiting for things at the printer. And I'm just like standing there in shame, and it's going so slow, and it's doing like 75 pages. And it's like getting up to 90, and it's just like taking so fucking long, like at least like 20 minutes of printing.
Oh my
And I ended up just leaving in shame. I think I ditched like 30 pages because I was like, I cannot wait here in shame anymore.
I would have done the same thing.
And there were like at least 5 people, I think, waiting behind me. And so they still had to stand there and wait for the rest of my 30 pages to print while I booked it out of there. And I did not return for like weeks and weeks because I was so ashamed. And there's like, signs everywhere of 20-page limit per visit, blah, blah, blah. You have to like log it in your teacher's code or whatever.
Oh, so did you log it in?
I don't know. I don't know how this happened. I feel like the ADHD teachers out there can probably relate to me in that sense. And I feel like the neurotypical teachers out there hate me. And they know exactly the type of teacher I am. And
they're like,
you did this. Yeah.
We never want to see you again. And
Can't follow simple rules. You're a teacher. You work at a school. I was a speech therapist. To be fair, I was a speech therapist. Pizza secret.
Pizza secret. I don't know how to use the copier at work. I like struggle through it, and I never really copy things, but I always feel bad asking the MAs to copy things for me because I feel like that's such a simple thing. And then I just kind of struggle at the copier. I kind of figured out. I kind of keep
struggling at the copier.
I do a lot of sighing because the copier is right in front of the MA's desk, and then I wait for them to help me.
The old damsel in distress at the copier.
It's 2 buttons. It says copy pages.
I have to be taught how to fax like every single time.
I have no idea how to
single
fax.
time.
This is outdated technology to me.
But if you work in a school, you have to fax a good amount, unfortunately. Every single time I would do it upside down.
All my orders have to be faxed to like nursing homes, and anytime someone has like a prosthetic limb that needs to be ordered, I basically have to like write a fax to the governor to get that approved through insurance, basically. Oh man, and I never know how to do it, and I have to like go pout by the MAs, and they're like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "I need assistance."
Oh, nothing.
Oh, nothing. I'm just trying to figure out how to fax, and they're just like, get away.
There's so much shame related to printing and copying and faxing. The whole system, I can never get it. I always fuck up, and it's so embarrassing and shameful. And when the copier is broken, God, especially if you work in a school and you're trying to like run to the copier in between like sessions or classes. Yeah. A broken printer is fucking devastating. It sets me off. All right, anyways, what's your pizza secret?
Yeah, my pizza secret is called Interview Tips with Kristin.
Excited to hear it.
I would say we were just talking about resumes with Ian Powell today.
Yeah, Ian Powell.
For me, I look better on paper than I do in the flesh.
Ain't that the truth? That's why you're a podcaster.
I've got a face for radio.
You've got flesh for podcasting.
Yeah, I am not a strong interviewee. I can't hold a conversation. I can't hold eye contact. I don't know how to do a handshake. I do like a dead fish handshake, even though Marty, my dad, and I, we've gone over the handshake, but now that COVID's hit, I do like a little wave to everybody because I don't want to touch them.
I love the awkward wave.
And now it's acceptable, so that's nice. But
that's nice.
Pre-COVID, I had to interview for all kinds of grad school programs. Boy, oh boy, was that fun.
You're probably shaking your knee the whole time.
I was just like a mess.
Like crazy.
And, like, so sweaty and just like, oh, okay. And they're like asking me questions. And I'm like, I don't interview. I don't even know how I got the job that I have now. I got this job because someone was desperate. And that man is the surgeon I work for.
Yeah, they're like, she's weird as hell, but her resume looks great. We'll take her.
Well, she hasn't murdered anybody yet, so she's good to go.
Must be smart.
She hasn't got caught.
Yeah.
So grad school, it's this whole process, and I was interviewing. I had a couple schools in the Boston area, one school in Philadelphia, one in Maine, one in a couple more in New England. Anyway, mostly in Boston. That's where I wanted to go. I want to be in Boston. I want to be Boston. And I had one interview. It was a 2-day interview.
Oh my God.
I know.
For grad school?
For grad school. I know. And I won't name the college, but it's well known.
It rhymes with Schmarvard. No, I'm just kidding.
No, Schmarvard. No. But so they had a 2-day interview process. And they're like, that's so you can like, it's just you're gonna be like relaxed. We want this to be like a cool interview experience for you.
Never believe them when they say that.
That's garbage.
They're talking to neurotypicals, if anything. They're not talking about you, not us.
If anything, I'm more panicked.
Because now what are the rules?
Yeah, first off, I took the train down the Amtrak.
Horse train?
I took a horse train. And this is kind of really sad. It hit a person on the way down.
Oh, yikes. Sorry, I laughed about horse train.
Yeah. So the train was severely delayed.
Yikes.
And luckily I was going down the night before, but like I was staying at our friend Stephanie's apartment, and she's like, call me. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And then my mom calls me. She's like, your train's hit a person. And I was like, gee, I'm like on the phone. I'm like, how much wine have you had? No wine. It's true.
So you have like a vision, Mom?
And so now, like, that's traumatic. And I feel like obviously the person died, and I feel really bad. And it's just, so we're off to a rough start.
Yeah.
We interview. So day one is like, you see the school, they tell you about the program, you meet all these people who frankly don't matter. And then you do this interview. You're interviewing with different people. It's very fast paced. And then day 2, it's the same thing. More interviews. Let's tell you more about our program. Let's show you this part. Let's show you this part. Show you this part. Day 2, 3 o'clock. They're like, okay, now we're going to put you all in a warm room together. You're going to sit at a desk. You're exhausted.
Oh, no.
It's 3 p.m. on day 2 of your interview. And then this lady is going to tell you her life story as a PA. and she's got a very monotone voice.
Oh my God.
And I was like, I'll sit at the front of the class so I can be ready and alert for this. And I instantly fell asleep through the whole thing.
You fell asleep?
Yeah, I fell asleep.
Right in front of her?
Right in front of her. I like kept nodding, and then I kind of like woke up at the end, and it's just a drool. Oh yeah, I fell asleep in my interview.
Did you get into the school?
No, I did not. I did not get into that school.
I wonder if there's any correlation.
Yeah, she probably was like, let me see your name badge. Okay, no.
Yeah, hard no.
I just want to say that's a terrible
Jesus.
interview process. You can't just throw me into a nice, toasty, warm room. I'm in a suit. So my tip to the public, if you're interviewing for a grad program or medical school or even college, don't fall asleep during your interview.
And also just don't.
No, yeah, you should. It's good. No, I liked.
Take a stand. Take a stand against this bullshit interviewing process and just don't.
Well, you got to interview. You got to see. Well, it's also like you got to figure out if you like the school.
Yeah, I guess that's
like
true.
there was one school I interviewed where I had a conversation with one guy and I absolutely I liked everything about the program except for one guy I talked to and I got like instant bad vibes.
It's all right to bail whenever you need.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's say this then. If you're going to interview for a school and it's a 2-day interview process,
that's bullshit.
For me, that's a red flag, and I don't like that school.
I don't know why you would let's bleed them a little more. Let's draw this whole uncomfortable process out even. The school I ended up going to had a very good interview process, and that's a story for another day, but I was very late for that interview.
But you still got in.
I still got in, and by sheer luck, that will be a pizza secret for another day. But they had a very methodical, you interviewed with 3 people, you had 15 minutes with each person, and then you were done. You got a tour of the school. You had one fake class that you went to see how the class was set up, and then you're gone.
I support that. That's great.
It was like,
practical.
We are doing this now. You're interviewing, done. We don't like you. See ya.
Yeah.
And I got in.
Nice. Some schools are just so self-important when like at the end of the day, they are providing you knowledge in exchange for money.
Right.
Like they're giving you a service in exchange for money. And they act like it's this like grand ceremonial thing.
Oh, we're a grad program.
Let's just like get this going.
Let's get it going.
Boom, boom, boom.
Give me the skills I need so I can go out on my own. Here's some money. Teach me some things. Thank you.
Yeah, all right, bye. You know, that's it.
No one should have a 2-day interview process.
No, it's bullshit.
Yes, unless you're on like 90-day fiance.
Yeah,
but then that's like a 90-day fiance interview process, kind of, right?
Technically, yeah. I guess it's an interview. Yeah. I thought you were talking about like pre-reality show interview process. That should be a few rounds, you know, because you really want to get to know the personality.
Right.
But unless you're interviewing for a reality show, the 2-day interview process is bullshit.
Yeah. I
thought it was stand.
And it was just like a bunch of nonsense I didn't need to know. I need to know how much the school costs, where's the school located, how are your classrooms set up, where are you putting your rotations, what's the success rate of your kids? Kids as in like students.
Children? I got children
working there?
No,
not children.
You got successful children there?
And then the biggest factor is the vibe factor. What is the vibe?
What is the vibe?
Yeah.
All right, on that note.
Interview tips with Kristin.
The train station pizza party is coming to a close. Finish up your slices.
Yep.
Yum, yum, yum.
Chug them down.
Weren't those good?
Gobble them up.
Yep. Do you eat your crust or do you toss it to the dog?
I do
Big
both.
question. Same. I do both. I kind of share with her.
Yeah.
Wipe your hands on your napkins.
And your pants.
Yep. And
your pants.
Everyone can start to single file head on out of the train station and head on home.
Watch out for the horses.
Yeah. There's a lot of them because the episode is coming to an end.
It's coming to an end. If you would like more of this hard-hitting content,
why?
You can write us in at weirdsofeather@gmail.com. Don't forget to write in your horse meets train romantic comedies.
Train horse
I would love a romantic comedy.
Yeah, ooh, yeah, a little rom-com.
Rom-com, horse meets train. I feel like
Can they make it work?
The societal pressures.
Will people be accepting?
You can also hit us up on Weirds of Feather on the Instagram.
Yep.
Yeah. Don't forget, this episode's coming out in April, right? So we are still doing April Anarchy. Please make sure that your vote matters. Do your research. Make sure to vote. Don't forget to do your taxes. Those are coming up too.
Yeah, get those in, guys. You only have like a week left.
Yep. Fuck.
Do it early. Do it get it in on the 8th.
No, it's the 15th.
I know,
always on
but
the
get them in
15th.
a little early.
Oh, yeah. If you set the deadline by the 8th.
Yeah. You'll have them maybe done by the 15th. And by early, I mean, that's not to regular people. Early is like February.
Yeah.
Not the week before.
All the neurotypicals I work with have had their taxes done in like January.
Dude, I just did mine yesterday on March 27th, and I am like so psyched about it. I'm like so proud of us for doing
this
them
is
so early.
actually the latest I've done my taxes. I always like to have them done before the end of March, but here we are.
I don't
end
like
of
to
March.
have them done at all. I hate taxes. All right.
Anyway, get your taxes done. Follow us at Weird as a Feather on Instagram.
And we already said that. And we're done.
On TikTok. We're not done yet.
Oh.
You can also find us on TikTok. We'll also be having like polls and stuff there for the April Anarchy. We also do regular polls each regular episode. So look out for the polls. Polls.
All right. See you next week. See you later.
Bye.
Bye. I tried. I need to practice that one.
Bird needs a drink of water.
Yeah, thirsty bird.
Woo! Woo! Woo!
Classic. Classic owl.
Yeah. Nice little parakeet.
Yeah, that's whatever you want it to be. Gotta throw that in there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's all I got.
That's it.
That's
folks. We're on our way out. Chugga chug.
We're still, I guess we're still talking about trains.
Clip clop.
Choo choo.
What do horses make? Neigh.
Oh. Mary Legs. Oh, should the horse's name be Mary Legs?
I think we leave that up to the
That's
author.
up to you. All right, bye.
Bye.